Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat. My name is Bob Lennon, President of Thermalwood Canada, host for the show, and our special guest this week, Jennifer Cleversey Moffitt.
You did good.
I did good.
You
I
did
got it
good.
right.
Yes.
Takes a lot of room on a business card, though.
It does. Yeah, a ton.
Yeah. So we're here today to talk about l'École de Danse BoGeste. And tell us a little bit about the school and how it operates and your position here.
Sure. So École de Danse BoGeste is a not-for-profit dance school. We're located in Petit Rocher, and we offer both competitive and recreational level dance classes. So this school was actually started back in the 80s, believe it or not, and
It's been around for a while.
It's been around for a while and has evolved. We officially incorporated as a not-for-profit in 1993 and have been operating as such since. So most of your viewers would know, but a not-for-profit means that we reinvest the money back into the schools. So in the region, it's a bit of an anomaly. It's not something that happens very often.
Yeah, not everybody does that. You know, normally it's a business, right? But in this particular case, it is not.
No, and so we actually have only one employee, our artistic director, Tanya Boudreau, and Tanya is fantastic. The most creative person I think I've ever met in my life. But the rest of the teachers here are all on contract, and it's a labor of love, really. We have a ton of volunteers that help out, and we have a lot of parents and guardians and aunts and uncles and grandparents that contribute. So this school is filled with a ton of love, a ton of extra hours and time and effort put in by the community. So it's a pretty special place.
So you've been here for a while because we talked a little bit about it. You know, you've got your daughters are here already, and you told me a little story that one of them started really early in her life.
She did. So my second child, Sophia, I actually went into labor backstage at a BoGeste show. So I bent down to tie somebody's ballet shoelace, their little laces, and tuck them in. And when I stood up, I started contractions. So being my second child, I knew what was happening quite clearly. So we joked that she wanted to be on stage immediately, and that was her way of letting us know.
Yeah. So you didn't stick around for the rest of the show, or did you?
I did. I stuck around for the rest of the show, and she was born a little bit later on. So, yeah.
So let's take this back to the non-for-profit for a second, because again, non-for-profit, you know, whatever you get, you're putting it back into the business. But as we talked about, you know, COVID was difficult because, you know, you own this building. So, you know, there's mortgages to pay and there's bills to pay, electricity, so on and so forth. So if, you know, donations and stuff, I'm sure you're willing to accept, or anybody that wants to help out. So how do they get a hold of you? How do they find out or let you know that they're willing to help?
Sure, great question. So we're on Facebook, really active on social media, and we have a lot of pictures of the studio, of our kids, of performances, of awards that we've won. So very easy to find us on Facebook or Instagram. So just search for École de Danse BoGeste, or even just BoGeste in New Brunswick. Additionally, you can always reach us at the studio or through our artistic director. And again, all of that contact information is on our social media. So easy to get in touch with us. And we're really responsive. So I know that we've got quite a few people who are on the social media pages volunteering and answering questions for parents and inquiries that do come up. But we do a lot of fundraising here too. And we've got a lot of local businesses that have been super supportive of what we do, and very thankful to the community and those businesses that have contributed to growing this studio. So as you mentioned, we own this building. So during COVID, it was a little tough. You got to keep the heat going and the lights on, even though nobody's here. So it was a bit of a challenge, I'm not going to lie, and we're still coming out of it. But this year we've seen numbers growing. The kids are back. You know, the hallways are filled with laughter and dancing again. So it's really changed. So
numbers growing. How many kids do you have that participate here?
So this year we have approximately, I think it's just under 200. So it's between,
Really?
Yeah. So I think it's between around 150 to 160 now. But back, you know, pre-COVID, we had, you know, close to like 190 to 200 kids. So, so we've had some really, really big years of children here. And of course, COVID, you know, not only did it sort of have a break in the operations, but there's a bit of fear and a bit of, you know, what's going to happen when my kid's in a class of 25 or 26? So we get it, we understand, but at the same time, seeing the recovery and the numbers come back and, the joy of having art in the community again is really positive. So happy to see the change.
Yeah. And, COVID affected everybody
Yeah.
going through and even outside of COVID, like you mentioned, people start thinking about, what about, and we're in groups, we're not going in groups, do we wear a mask, don't wear a mask, and all those things.
Yeah.
There's still questions today.
For sure. Yeah. And so, at the studio, we adhered to the provincial guidelines during COVID. So even when we did open our doors and bring kids back, we tried to keep numbers low. So we did hybrid classes. We did classes with our masks on, and in between classes, when we were back, we washed the entire studios down in between every class. So we really took it seriously, and I'm thankful that we did. I think we did the right thing, but a school like this also has a board of directors. So it's not just your on the ground sort of staff and your artistic director that have to make all of these decisions and sort of have to create these policies. We have a fabulous board of directors, all female, I might add, which is also an anomaly to have an all female board of directors running a not-for-profit, but fabulous group of women. And, during COVID, we came together to ensure the safety and security of all the students and the teachers, anyone who was going to be on our premises or within sort of our events and that sort of thing. So 1 year during COVID, we actually did, I do believe it was 10 to 12 shows just to ensure that we could keep the numbers nice and small so that family could join and watch their children in person, but keep the numbers to a manageable size. So it was a lot on the staff and a lot on the volunteers, but we made it work. And those are the memories that the kids have. You do it for them. So.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible work that you're doing, incredible work that you're doing for the region, because this isn't just for Petit-Rocher. There's kids from all around that come here. So,
I live in Bathurst. My kids come from Bathurst.
See, so it comes from all over. You're helping develop these kids. You're working with them. You're doing you give them an outing. You give them a whole pile of other things to do and get in the competition. So it's great work that you're doing. Keep it up. Wish you the best through there. And as Jennifer mentioned, there's all kinds of ways that if you want to help out and just pick up the phone and call. Yeah, it sounds like, those programs, call this number right away. But again, thank you for doing that for the region and keep up the good work.
Well, it's a lot of fun. And I've got to say, so just so that your viewers are aware, I sit on the board of directors for the school, but I'm also the ballet teacher here. So if anybody out there wants to learn how to point their toes, come and join us because it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Won't be me.
I could teach you. You never know.
No, we're not going there. So Thanks again.
Thank you.
There we are. Another edition of Northern Heat for this week, the place you come to listen to the stories that haven't been discovered yet.